Hey, Sean here from SpeakTubeReview.com. So let's go over the 4x4 mega comparison for 2019. Now, I don't have every 4x4 out here. I've already taken out the ones that I feel like are not really things I would even consider nowadays, which includes the original YuSu, the Cyclone Boys G4, things from Shengshou, and other ones as well. Let's take a look at what we have. We do have a Cyclone Boys one, the Fei Ting. We have the GAN 460. We have the Qi Wuxue, a budget one from Qi, budget Moyu ones, as well as the GTS version 1 and version 2, also the Thunderclap from Qi, and the Shengshou Gem. So I'm going to talk through these in this order, and then we'll kind of go over where each one fits in. So this is the Cyclone Boys Fei Ting. I really like this one. It's quite flexible, and I've added magnets, but with the magnets, I've considered using this one at competitions. I feel like I already have used it at competition, but I don't know for sure. I might have some of my best times ever with this puzzle. It's really great. It's 57 millimeters, so compared to a 3x3, it's practically the same size. If you want a mini 4x4, this is the way to go. This would be kind of the smallest one and still get really good quality. And yeah, as far as magnets, installing magnets works really well with it. Next, we have the GAN 460. This has been a little bit divisive. The outer layers are great. I haven't heard anyone complain about the outer layers. The inner layers, though, are a little bit less rounded, and I feel like if you're not super accurate, the inner layers can be a little bit catchy. I've seen some people use this as their main, but because of that, I'm a little iffy about it. It does have magnets already installed, which that is nice. Looking at Qi, we have a couple budget ones. We have this budget one with the frosted plastic that's part of their actual Qi line. I don't know the name off the top of my head, so I'll put that right below right now. It's okay. Their other budget one would be the Thunderclap. The mini Thunderclap I feel like performs a little bit nicer than the larger size. And I magnetized this one, or I did magnetize one. I got this one from SpeakCube Shop. And this one right away I considered to be one of the best ones out there. Once I had magnets. I didn't really like it so much without it, but with magnets it was really nice. Then we have the Wuxue and the Wuxue Mini. I don't know what happened with the Mini, but it just did not work as well as the full-size Wuxue. Even to this day, I prefer smaller 4x4s, but I think if it's between this and the full-size, I'd go with the full-size. The full-size, it's really nice and stable, a little bit sluggish. I know some people don't like how sluggish it is, but it's nice and controllable, and probably the hardest 4x4 I've ever used to pop. It really is nice and stable. As far as Moyu goes, they have their budget ones, the MF4 and MF4S. The MF4, just by looking at it, you can see a big difference. The MF4 is much more squared off and stable, while the 4S is more rounded. And I don't think the 4S actually performs different or better than the 4. If it was between the two, I actually might go for the 4 over the 4S just because it's a little more stable, and corner cutting is about the same. So it's between those, I actually like the 4 a little bit better. But they do have their GTS and their GTS2. The GTS, I don't even know if they're going to produce anymore, so I'm going to put that out right now and go to the GTS2. This is magnificent. The magnets work really well. Both inner and outer are really nice. The size is a little bit smaller than full-size cube, so it's about 41.5. I don't know the exact decimal, but not as small as mini 4x4, especially the Cyclone Boys. This, in my opinion, I'm going to say before I even finish all the reviews, is the nicest 4x4 I have ever used. It was really hard for me to pick sometimes a favorite, and I kept going back to this one, but once I used this for a little bit, I don't think I've looked back. The Moyu GTS version 2 is just great. I think that's technically the YuSu GTS version 2. And then lastly, we have the Shengshou Gem. This would be in that budget line. It performs fine. Nothing too spectacular. It has that frosted plastic on it. Let's talk about where these fit as far as price point. For a budget puzzle, we have these ones. I'm going to almost immediately just remove the MF4, MF4S, the Qi one, and the Shengshou Gem, and just stick to the Thunderclap and the Fei Ting. The Fei Ting is smaller than the Thunderclap. We have a mini version and a full size. Both of them, I think magnets work well. I would almost suggest magnets in all big cubes. I remember when magnetic cubes started becoming popular, people were like, oh, you don't need them in big cubes, but it's kind of the opposite now. People are like, yeah, you need them in big cubes, especially. I don't know which I would prefer between these two. This is more stable and this is much more flexible. This is really small, but if you use this for about a dozen solves, your hands get used to it. So the Cyclone Boys Fei Ting and Thunderclap. And then for more higher end puzzles, we have the Wuxi Mini and the Gan 460. These two come in magnetic. This one doesn't, although you can get it specially made like I did. And then we have the Moyu GTS2. If it was between these, I'm without a doubt going with the Moyu GTS2. Everything just works super nicely with it. I've had no issues. Colors are great. This is a very straightforward comparison review, but although these are nice, this would be my high-end choice, and these would be my budget choices. That's about it. I'm going to keep this video nice and short, so if you have any other questions, leave them in the comment section below. Hit like, subscribe for more content like this in the future, and as always, stop by speedqbview.com for more news and reviews.